Alright, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be doing something a little different on the channel. I'm going to be reviewing two torque wrenches that I just picked up and that I've been using for about a week now, and I just want to share my reviews about these two. I got them both from Harbor Freight, however they're both very different quality and very different price. Let's dive into this. So you might be wondering, why do you need a torque wrench? Most people don't really need torque wrenches. The reason I need one is I actually just picked up some beadlock wheels for my 2015 Rubicon. So every couple hundred miles you need to retorque the wheels. So that's why I have one of these guys now. And let's get started with the pluses and minuses of each one. Right here on my left, you will see the one I'm holding right now, is a Pittsburgh torque wrench. And this is from Harbor Freight. And you're not going to believe how much I paid for this. I'll give you a second to guess. I only paid $15 for this torque wrench, which is extremely cheap for these kind of tools, since they're a very advanced tool. So this one is very basic. It's not that many teeth for the clicks, as you can hear. It's pretty loud. Right here you have the adjustable knob to come down, so you can adjust it starting at, I believe, 0 to 80 foot-pounds of torque, if you can read that right there. And yeah, for the price, I thought, well, why not buy this one? But I was shortly wrong. So let me explain to you why this torque wrench right here is not as good as I thought it was for $15. So right now I'm going to set it to, so these beadlocks, they can go up to 24 pounds of torque. Right now I'm going to set this one to about 24 pounds of torque. Let's see right there, so that's 20 right there. So then 22, 3, 4. So we're at 24 pounds of torque. So what you want to do next is tighten down this little bolt right here, and then get your bolt that goes into here. So the bolt that the KMC XD Machete beadlocks use is a 5/16 socket. So I set the to 23 to 24 pounds of torque, and now I'm going to show you why I don't really like this tool. So, ready for this? We're going to torque it. It's also a click type, so every time you get to that level of torque, it's going to click and make a noise to let you know that you're there. So there, it's 23, 24, good. So there we go. I just did two of them for you, and I'm going to show you exactly why I don't like this one. So after torquing those two bolts, so the proper technique to use this, first of all, is to have one hand here and one hand on this knurled part right here, so you have extra grip. And after doing those two bolts at like 23 to 24 pounds of torque, this bolt down here came loose and was moving. As you can see, it's very tight. I can barely move it right now, and yet it still has some wiggle and wobble to it, making it so that I could be doing it wrong. I could be doing the wrong amount of torque, I could be doing it too much or too little. And this is a problem because if you do too much torque on these bolts, you have the chance of snapping it. If you snap one, you're gonna have to get a whole entire new wheel. So you really don't want to do that, which is why after using this for a little bit, I honestly am not going to be using this anymore. And mainly for that reason, these are expensive wheels, and I don't really want to go cheap on the quality of tool that I'm using. I thought they would work great, but however, it is actually not that good, and I'll probably just be keeping this as an emergency item. So compared to this Pittsburgh torque wrench, we're going to now look at the Icon torque wrench, and this one right here, this is a very nice torque wrench. This is very comparable to Snap-on, all the great brands, but except this is only $100. Snap-ons, you're looking at about $400 to $500. So let me show you why exactly this one is much better than the Pittsburgh torque wrench. So immediately, right when you get this from the box, you're going to be getting a very nice sturdy metal. Unlike the Pittsburgh, it's going to be very light. This one is a very heavy, nice thick handle for you to use. Also, this one, however, goes from 20 pounds of torque to about 100, to precisely 100 pounds of torque. And just instantly from feeling it from the box, you're going to be very surprised at the quality of build from this brand Icon. Unlike the Pittsburgh, the handle on the Icon, which is in my right hand, Pittsburgh in my left hand, Pittsburgh had that little knob at the bottom to adjust the amount of torque you want. With the Pittsburgh, you have this little handle right here. It's a push joint right here. So to adjust it, you push that, and you get two hands for this guy. So to adjust it, you pull down, and then you can set your desired torque setting either in Newton meters or in foot-pounds. So let's say I want to go to 24 foot-pounds of torque. So go down to 20. So 20 will be right there. Let's say, okay, 20.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 24 foot-pounds of torque. And I feel comfortable actually using 24 foot-pounds of torque, since this one, as you can see, it's locked in with the joint, it's not going to be moving. So likewise to the Pittsburgh, we're going to be using a 3/8 inch torque wrench with a 5/16 bit. So I snap that on right there, make sure it's going to the right direction to tighten it down. We are set to 24 foot-pounds of torque, and let's see what we can do. I already did these 3 bolts over here, so I'm going to go down right here and do this one. So you come down, jam it in. So this one's a little loose, so it's 24. There we go. As you can hear, in. Let's do this one. In. Let's go on one more. In. As you can tell, this one is also a click type, so it'll click right when you hit it. And you typically want to get 2 to 3 clicks and then go back over it and see, make sure it clicks on the first time. That's when you know you're at the optimal torque. So I just did those 3 bolts on camera, 1, 2, 3. And after 3 bolts, let's see where torque is still at. And we're still at 24 foot-pounds of torque. So you really get what you're going to pay for. If you really want to get a quality torque wrench, you're going to want to get an Icon. It is a little more expensive. This one costed about $100. And most people know at Harbor Freight they give discounts. However, Icon does not do discounts on their products, since they know they are one of the best companies that Harbor Freight is ever going to see, and they compete with Snap-on. So I just showed you a couple demonstrations of me using the torque wrench. So let's go over what you're going to find and what to expect when you first get the torque wrenches. So put this guy away and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so going on to the quality of the build from the company, you're going to see this is the box for the Pittsburgh, and this is the box for the Icon. Much different, much bigger for the Icon. As you can tell, much more safety for the device. So let's go over the Pittsburgh first, since that's the cheaper one, less to talk about on the subject. So here's the Pittsburgh box, very lightweight plastic material. Honestly, the clip's already kind of broken right here, so don't expect too much for that. Usually when you open a torque wrench box, you'll get an instruction key as to how to use it, and you'll get a certification, recalibration sheet, and everything like that. However, when I got this from Harbor Freight for $15, I actually did not receive any of that information, so I don't know when I have to go and recalibrate it, do anything. I had to learn how to use it. So it's not really user-friendly, and the box, as you can see, is super cheap, lightweight plastic. I'm afraid of it even breaking while I'm on the road. So that's what you should expect. It fits in here nicely, but like I mentioned, it's not a quality part. All right, let's move on to the Icon's box and packaging. So you get a nice packaging around the plastic once you first buy it. However, I took it off to use it, obviously. So unboxing it, you see all this. This is what you get inside the box as is. This is how it comes, perfectly like this. Like I mentioned before, this is the calibration certificate to show you who did the calibration, when it needs to be calibrated, the tolerances, and everything basically that you're going to want to know for using this torque wrench. So it's good to keep, or just take a picture of it. This was calibrated in 2018, so probably not for a couple of years, or a lot of bolts I have to torque in order to calibrate it again. So put that over here. And like I mentioned, when I first got this, I had no idea how to use it because I wasn't used to this this pull down joint right here. So the instructions literally label it right here to pull down, and then that'll lock it in place. So that's why you really want instructions. They'll explain the product to you better than you can understand it right from the box. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to have to say the Icon is the true winner here in this situation. There are definitely some pluses and minuses of both. The minus is this one is a little more expensive, but obviously your competitors like Snap-on, this doesn't even compare. This is so much cheaper and it's just as good. The quality of the Snap-on is very good, as everyone mostly knows, but this is going to give you the same exact result. you're not going to have any problems with this versus the Snap-on, but you will have problems with this versus the Pittsburgh. It's very different, as I've explained multiple ways.